It has only been a week since our last Universal Epic Universe construction update. In that week, there has been a tremendous amount of progress all around the park, with the most noticeable changes being to 3 of the 4 entry portals to the lands around Epic Universe. Before we dive into this week's very wet construction update, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next update. Without any delay, let's dive into this week's new aerial views courtesy of BioReconstruct. The concrete form at the front of the park that was being constructed for the last several updates can now be seen filled with concrete. Next update, we should be able to see the main entry portal uncovered for the first time. Directly behind the entry portal is the cascading waterfalls which meets guests as they enter Epic Universe. We first saw the layout of these waterfalls last updates, and we can now see a portion of these features having the concrete shaped around the Atlantic restaurant. The second set of waterfalls on the side of Atlantic has also been formed in concrete. The recent storms in Orlando have seen almost every water feature around Epic Universe be filled to give us an idea of how these water features will look once completed. This is true in front of Atlantic as well as around Celestial Carousel, which is the second main water feature in Celestial Park. These two features are set at a different water level, separated by a dam underneath the recently poured walkway, separating the first and the second water feature. This directly overhead view gives us a great view of the layout of the first and second water feature and the walkways that surround them both. In front of the entry tunnel to Starfall Racers, if you look closely between the concrete underneath the tunnel and the main design, you can see what appears to be the makings of an 8-pointed shooting star between the forms. Following the forms around the pattern, you can see a tail leading into this 8-pointed star, making the shooting star look right at the entrance to Starfall Racers. In front of the Comet being constructed in front of the load station, where the ride trains are coming right at each other, on the sides of the divider walls separating the tracks, there are new concrete forms taking shape as well as some new concrete foundations. Just outside of the entrance to Starfall Racers is the rumored tavern, which started to go vertical a couple of updates ago. Reported last week by Alicia from Theme Park Stop, this rumored tavern will in fact be just that. Its name will be Meteor Astropub, and as Alicia said perfectly on social media, they are wasting no time with this addition. If you do not subscribe to Theme Park Stop already, be sure to do so using the link in the description and help Alicia get to 100,000 subscribers. She is the reason why I know so much about Epic Universe, and I know a lot of you can say the same. The round seating area on the fountain side of the pub has seen a significant amount of framing be erected since we last touched base a week ago. The pillars on top of the already placed roof make me believe there will be a 2-tiered roof on top of this seating area. It could be similar to the one we believe will be found on top of Grand Helios Hotel. Speaking of the dome on top of Grand Helios Hotel, there is steel being placed to form the base of that dome, along with a roof adjacent to the dome, which will more than likely be part of the rooftop bar. Opposite the park side of Grand Helios, glass is being installed on the central part of the hotel facade, right above the lobby entrance. Along the side of the guest entrance is the resort's pool area, where more of the concrete divider walls have been poured, which separates the pool area to the driveway. Due to the recent rainstorms, the pool area has been completely flooded and will definitely need drying out before any more work can continue. Work on the entry portal to the new Wizarding World has taken a very detailed turn. Above the entry portal was rumored to be a hand holding a wand, and this does seem to be the case. However, no one expected that the hand would be holding the Elder Wand high above the entry portal. Since last update, the portal plate to the Wizarding World has also been installed to match the plate that was installed at the portal to How to Train Your Dragon last update. Inside of the streets of Paris, there has not been a lot of visual progress made since we last touched base. However, just outside of the exit to the land, the concrete form we saw last time has since had some concrete poured, starting the design of the land's courtyard. The second land's entry portal that has recently received its top is the How to Train Your Dragon at the Isle of Burk, which now has a dragon emblem perched on top of the portal. The portal plate, which was partially covered last update, has been fully uncovered now, giving us the full view of the base of the portal plate. On top of the entry portal structure, you can see rebar taking shape, presumably for the mountain look we expect this portal to be. Behind the entry portal, around the main lagoon in the land, the boardwalk is starting to take shape on the roller coaster side of the lagoon. These wooden planks will be how the boardwalk will look around the entire front side of the lagoon. Inside of the lagoon, the third Viking ship that was recently uncovered seems as though it will be themed as a sunken ship, given that the water has filled inside of the hull. The current water level inside of the lagoon looks as the regular operating level, which will give the third ship that sunken look. On the backside of the lagoon, at Mead Hall, the rock chips that have been installed over the last several updates have been 100% completed on top of Mead Hall, giving us our first look at the shape these rocks will take. Next door at Fire Drill, the load station and queue area roofing planks similar to the ones found over the first launch of the roller coaster have been seen being installed. Several of the rocks around the perimeter of the boat ride lagoon have gotten the green moss seen all throughout the land. Overlooking the boat ride lagoon is the land's second food service location, which, courtesy of Alicia again, we believe will be named Spitfire Grill. Making our way across Celestial Park to Super Nintendo World, to the left of the entry portal, there have been some concrete forms placed for a garden, as well as some themed trim along the top of the portal roof. Inside of the Mushroom Kingdom, looking around Yoshi's Adventure, we can see that two of the ride vehicles have been uncovered from the black fabric that has been covering all of the ride vehicles. The vehicles are still wrapped in plastic, so it is hard to get a good detailed look at them, but seeing the general shape, we can safely bet they will be identical to the ones found at other Yoshi's Adventure rides found around the globe. In Donkey Kong Country, on top of the main coaster building, support beams have been installed, centered with the waterfall. Looking at the concept art, these support columns are probably the base for the top of the Golden Temple, where the Golden Head will be mounted. The water will be flowing from the mouth of the head and under the coaster tracks, finally going down the building until settling below at ground level, where the coaster will splash through it later on. The land next door to Super Nintendo World was the last entry portal that received significant work over the last week. Atop the entry portal to Dark Universe, an electrical tower has been installed. The rumored lighting effects of this tower will give it the appearance of electricity arcing from it. At the mouth of the village of Darkmoor, the broken masonry on the right side of the village entrance can be seen with purple exterior board. The recent storms that blew through Orlando has left a casualty inside of the coaster tracks of Curse of the Werewolf. One of the recently transplanted trees of the forest has been blown over from the recent storms. Given the wind of these storms that blew through, personally I am surprised that more trees did not blow over, since they have not had time for their roots to be set like normal trees. The blue roof over the barn in the middle of the coaster tracks has had a pink covering added to it similar to the roof at DeLacy's snack stand. At DeLacy's, there have been shingles installed on the roof, which could be assumed the same thing will happen to the barn at Curse of the Werewolf. Behind DeLacy's, more work has been done around the garden inside of the outdoor queue area of the feature ride, as well as several concrete footers placed. Over at Burning Blades Tavern, a lot of dirt has been added to the left side of the tavern, filling in the area between the concrete walls. This is the start of the hilltop look the windmill will have, similar to the one found in the Frankenstein movie. Small trees have also been added to the right side of the tavern entrance. These trees are planted on either side of an interesting concrete pathway. This pathway could very well be for a small creek water feature that will tie into the hillside. This brings us back into Celestial Park and out of this week's Universal Epic Universe update. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any Universal Epic Universe construction updates in the future. With that, I want to give a special thanks to Alicia from Theme Park Stop for providing lots of information for today's video. Be sure to subscribe to both of us to keep up to date on all Epic Universe updates. Until next time, travelers, have a great one.